一对新人本来在举行婚礼，却不料突然一个女人站起来，指控新郎强奸了自己。这下婚礼可办不下去了。随后面对赶来的警察，凯蒂声称新郎曾是我的心理医生，我第一次去治疗时就被他强奸了。当时我因为母亲去世很伤心，然后他就过来挨着我坐在了沙发上。
He gave me a hug and he stroked my hair. And I knew that it was inappropriate, but I was too afraid to challenge him. And that's when he pushed me back. He put his hand up my skirt. He pulled down my underwear. And that is when I told him to stop, but he didn't listen. He just forced himself inside of me. And I lay there like a rag doll while he finished.
不料新郎亨利对此却坚决否认，不仅表示根本没有接诊过凯蒂，并且也不认识他。而既然这样，警察就提出要去查接诊记录，哪知亨利竟很是欢迎，他希望赶快证明自己的清白。就这样，警察来到了心理诊所，结果一看预约记录，凯蒂说的那天竟是空的。但接着警察又发现，所有记录都是铅笔写的，这也意味着可以擦掉。而前台解释是为了方便病人改期，对此警察也没多说什么，不过却记住了下一名预约者的名字和电话。如果凯蒂来过这里的话，或许会看到他离开，于是接着他们就找上了这名预约者，哪知竟迎来了整个案子的转折点。虽然女孩表示那天有事没有去，但是当看到俩人失望的表情后，她多问了一句有什么事，于是警察就提到有位女病人有些情况，哪知女孩一听，当即疑惑她是不是叫凯蒂。
You know her?
Not in real life, but she stalked me on Instagram. I left a comment on one of Dr. Hensley's photos and she followed me after that. Then came the private messages.
And what were those messages about?
She kept insisting that we get coffee to talk trash about Dr. Hensley.
But you never met up with her.
女孩当然没有同意，但却自认犯了一个错误。
Replying to her first message, she took that as an invitation to write me every day for like a month. I finally had to block her. That chick is straight up psycho.
所以这么看来，事情不像表面那么简单。结果再深入一查，竟发现亨利的3名女病人都对他赞赏有加，反而凯蒂有大量违法记录。他曾因妨碍治安、小偷小摸被逮捕过，并且还有一条限制令，是一名健身教练申请的，而这完全可以说明问题。随后警察就来了，找了教练，不料他竟声称凯蒂就是个疯子，我们只是偶然间认识。他就开始疯狂给我发信息，接着警察又问你俩有没有调情过，结果男人表示，当凯蒂发现我是个教练后，就开始每天给我发他穿性感运动衣锻炼的视频。于是我就告诉他我有女朋友了，但凯蒂却指控我误导了他，所以我就把他拉黑了。哪知这却是火上浇油，接着他就去骚扰我女朋友了，跑到他上班的地方，说我勾搭他，因此我才申请了限制令。所以这么看来，凯蒂果然有问题。而在掌握了这些信息后，警察又把凯蒂请来了派出所，直言我们已调查过了，你的某些行为近似跟踪者。不料凯蒂并不慌张，他谎称教练开的限制令是针对他女友的。在法庭上我已经道歉了，但接着本森又提到了那名预约者，这下凯蒂可没话说了，不过却狡辩这么做都只是为了和其他病人聊聊亨利的事。哪知本森立马又抛出了杀手锏，明言我们已查到你并没有去就诊。而眼见事已至此，凯蒂立马装起了可怜，但本森不为所动，只坚持想听实话，当然并没有否定凯蒂被强奸了，他只想知道更多的细节来证实这件事。可凯蒂只记得躺在红色真皮沙发上，祈祷这一切赶紧结束。然而这也是一个关键细节。随后警察就来质问亨利，如果凯蒂没进过你办公室，怎么知道你有红色沙发？不料未婚妻却帮忙解释，网上的诊所介绍曾发布过办公室照片，凯蒂肯定是看到了。那警察就又疑惑了，既如此，为何凯蒂要诬告你？对此亨利也想知道，于是警察又转回来继续审问凯蒂。可不论警察质疑什么，他都有理由反驳。最后本森一看这么对峙下去也不是回事，于是放缓了节奏，明明白白告诉凯蒂，你的陈述漏洞百出，我们只想弄明白到底发生了什么。却不料就在这时，凯蒂突然感觉一阵恶心，接着就直奔厕所而去，而两人也跟了上去，结果却意外看到了验孕棒，也就明白了怎么回事。随后凯蒂也承认是被强奸后才发现怀孕的，那这就好办了，只要做个 DNA 比对就行了。接着就先抽了凯蒂的血液，然后又提取了亨利的 DNA 样本，而对此亨利也很配合，他希望尽快还自己清白，还要起诉凯蒂，要让他倾家荡产。却不料事与愿违，鉴定结果竟是匹配的，所以这下可以断定是亨利在撒谎了。随后警察就狠狠砸开了他家的大门，以强奸罪将亨利逮捕了。而事到如今，亨利才终于承认，但仍嘴硬我俩是你情我愿，分手前只发生过3次关系。然而本森已不再相信他了，不过还是耐着性子听亨利讲完。
Kitty was never my patient, okay? We met at a bar around the corner from where she lives.
Okay, so let me guess. You're at the bar and Kitty came on to you.
No, not exactly. She was sitting alone at the bar, bought her a drink, talked to her for about 10 minutes, and realized how easy this was going to be.
So why does Kitty claim that she was your patient?
Because she's vindictive, okay?
但本森显然不信，而亨利也看出来了。于是为了证明自己说的是实话，他拿出了凯蒂公寓的钥匙，称这是第2次后他主动给我的，你们可以去核对，而这是很有必要的。随后警察就按照亨利提供的地址来到了凯蒂的公寓，结果却发现钥匙根本不对。但俩人也没轻易下结论，感觉亨利不至于这么蠢来耍警察，于是决定去查监控。不料却意外的发现，之前亨利果然来过，并且凯蒂也热情地将他迎了进去，说明凯蒂也说谎了，他明明是自愿的。而直到这段录像被摆在了凯蒂眼前，他才承认确实跟亨利睡过几次。
But it was after he raped me in his office. I'm not lying about that.
Kitty, Josh says that you two first met in a bar called the Empty Room. We talked to the bartender. He said he saw you two together.
Yeah, but that was a few days after my appointment.
An appointment that nobody can confirm. Did you give him your key?
Yeah, but I changed the locks after he dumped me.
And that's what this is about, right?
警察推测凯蒂是因为和亨利睡了，后来却发现他早订婚了，所以为了报复亨利，才谎称被强奸的。但凯蒂当即就否认了。
Okay. So, Kitty, how did it happen?
Okay, look, after he raped me, I went to confront him outside of his office. I told him that I was going to the police, but he talked me out of it.
How?
Well, he insisted that we go to a bar so he could explain himself. And he said that I wanted to be overpowered, that there's a condition for it, erotic rape fantasy disorder. And he said, how I played with my hair, the way that I crossed my legs so he could see under my skirt, that I was consciously trying to seduce him.
And then you took him home.
He said that I had intimacy issues. That the grief from my mom was masking my real problems and that he would help me work that out.
这下警察算是明白了，凯蒂是被强奸后，又被亨利利用心理医生的优势 PUA 了。那接下就是对亨利展开调查了。可哪知还没开始行动呢，警察就接到了坏消息，凯蒂居然挟持了亨利，威胁如果不承认强奸就杀了他。对此警察当然不允许了，本森也极力劝说，但凯蒂却很是激动，他就是要逼着亨利坦白。可哪知亨利仍坚称你有病得治。
Think I need help from you? Like the way you helped me with my so-called rape fantasy? The way you insisted it was my fault, how my body language was an invitation?
Kitty, nobody needs to get hurt here.
Oh, I wanted you to take me because I didn't fight back. You know what, Josh? Maybe I should just kill you so you don't hurt anybody else.
Kitty.
Go ahead and kill him!
没想到未婚妻居然先崩溃了。
I know you're telling the truth. I know that Josh raped you. You said those exact same words to me. Remember, Josh? The first time we had sex after you raped me.
这倒是令人没想到的，原来未婚妻的遭遇竟跟凯蒂一样，只是她被控制得更严重，甚至要嫁给亨利了。而既然有了未婚妻的指控，那凯蒂也没必要非死磕亨利了。此时他一下子失去了所有力气，总算是证明自己没撒谎了。事后未婚妻也讲述了自己的遭遇，原来他本是一名房产中介，而亨利是他的客户。有一天他带着亨利去看房时，结果亨利竟在卧室里强奸了他，然后第2天亨利就买下了那栋房子，并带着鲜花因为昨天的粗暴向他道歉，还反称未婚妻用心贿赂了自己，他并不在意。亨利简直就是个变态。最后未婚妻也同意了出庭指证，不料当本森将这事告诉亨利后，他却不相信未婚妻会背叛自己，但本森接着就明言，他已经在大陪审团面前作证了。
I gave both those women exactly what they wanted.
No, you conned them into believing that that's what they wanted. And like any good con man, you've convinced yourself that your victims got what they deserved. You are done, Doctor. You're done.
而这也再次证明，所有披着善意外衣的罪恶，终会被真相戳穿，被法律严惩。